Welcome everyone to our ordinary council meeting. Today's date is the 17th of September 2025. We've got a full House of Councillors present. Councillor myself, the President, Councillor McMorrin, Deputy President, Councillor Alsop, Councillor Hudson, Councillor Metcalfe, Councillor Sewell and Councillor Ward. And our staff, we've got our CEO, Mrs. Barthaker, and Manager of Governance and Community Services, Ms. Carly Rose, our Manager of Infrastructure and Projects, Mr. Ben Forbes, and unfortunately our Manager of Corporate Services is... There's no members of the public in our gallery for public questions. Disclosures of interest. We have one disclosure of interest. The discussion of our CEO's performance review, which is our financial interest, self-explanatory. That has been declared. Does anyone wish to apply for leave of absence of the 3 remaining councillors? No. There's no petitions and presentations. So moving on to the first item of business is confirmation of the minutes of our meeting held on the 22nd of August, as detailed in attachment 7.1a. You've all had a chance to read that, and it's a true and accurate record of that meeting. I'll move straight on to the recommendation. Recommendation 7, that by simple majority pursuant to sections 522 and 3.18 of the Local Government Act 1995, minutes of the OCM held 22nd of August 25 as presented in attachment 7.1a be confirmed as a true and correct record of proceedings. We would like the honour of moving that one. Councillor Alsop and Councillor McMorrin seconds. Those in favour by show of hands, 7-0 carried. We did not have any committee meetings within the last month. But moving on to announcements by the President without discussion. I'd like to start off by saying this is going to be the last meeting I hold as President for this term of the cycle. For anyone listening outside, for the benefit of anyone listening outside, this is the last ordinary council meeting before our elections get held on October the 18th. Our next council meeting will be on October the 21st, if I'm not mistaken, where we will swear in 4 new councillors. I take the opportunity to thank our 3 outgoing councillors for their contribution over the last 4 years. Thanks for your efforts. It's somewhat of a what's the word I'm looking for? A thankless task being on council. It does have its rewards. For all those people out there, please take the time to actually vote. We have 6 candidates going for 4 positions. The candidates are detailed on our website. One of those candidates is an existing councillor, Daryl Hudson here, who may or may not be re-elected, but I trust the public will make good judgment in that case. That's pretty much it. I look forward to being part of a new council on October the 21st. Right, moving on to financial activity statements. We've got 2 monthly financial reports because we never had one in time last month. It's there in attachment 11.1a, and also the August month in attachment 11.1b. These reports have been scrutinised in a workshop prior to this council meeting, but I'll still invite any comment or discussion on those items before I read the recommendation. Any questions? No. Moving on, straight on to the recommendation. That council, by a simple majority pursuant to Regulation 34 of the Local Government Financial Management Regulations 1996, receives the draft statutory financial activity statement report for the period of July 2025 as presented in attachment 11.1A and August 2025 as presented in attachment 11.1B. Can I have a mover for that one, please? Councillor Ward moves it and a seconder. Councillor Hudson. All those in favour? 7-0, carried. The next item is the list of accounts paid and the credit card statements, detailed in attachments 11.2A and 11.2B respectively. Once again, we have scrutinised these prior to this meeting. Moving straight on to the recommendation. The council, by simple majority pursuant to section 6.81A of the Local Government Act 1995 and regulations 12 and 13 of the Local Government Financial Management Regulations 1996, receives the report from the CEO on the exercise of delegated authority in relation to creditor payments from the Shire of Dowerin Muni Fund as presented in attachments 11.2A and as detailed below. So the payments this month total $595,798.22. Would someone like to move that, please? Councillor Ward, and someone to second it, please. Councillor Alsop, would either of you like to pass comment on those? No? No. All those in favour? 7-0, carried. The next item, I'm pleased to announce that the Shire of Dowerin is now a full member of SEACA. SEACA stands for the Central East Aged Care Alliance. We've been an affiliate member for the last 2 or 3 years, I think, but we've upgraded to full membership. We had to do so in order to be eligible for the housing projects, and I can confirm, or the CEO can confirm, we are now eligible for 4 units, two by 2 by 1. Yep, 2 by 4 each. Total value of $1.8 million, roughly. Yep. These units are postulated to go on the old block up near the old community club that's been subdivided into 3 separate blocks, the old car park area. Pardon me. So moving straight on to the recommendation, 12.1, the council, in accordance with section 511 of the Local Government Act 1995, 1, appoints the CEO, Manisha Barthakar, as the Shire of Dowerin's representative to the SEACA Management Committee, and 2, notes that this appointment may be reviewed if required, following the 2025 local government elections to allow council to appoint an elected member as the Shire of Dowerin's representative. Who wants to move that one, please? Councillor Hudson, and seconded Councillor Metcalfe. Show of hands, all those in favour? 7-0, carried. The next item deals with an ongoing problem in the town site, managing of Corella populations. The number of times we've had ceremonies, Anzac ceremony, I think 2 years ago, was drowned out by the Corellas overhead. So they do a lot of damage. So we actually have to have a program to allow for culling. However, it has to be done in a licensed and responsible manner. So a policy has been put forward and a permission as detailed in the attachments there. So I'll move straight on to the recommendation, 13.1, that council, by simple majority in accordance with section 272B of the Local Government Act 1995, 1. Adopts Policy 4.1 Corella Management Policy as attached. 2. Authorises the CEO to engage with licensed external contractors or shooting clubs to undertake Corella culling with all operational activities, permits, safety management, insurances and outcomes the responsibility of those contractors. 3. Authorises the CEO to approve the timing, location and scope of authorised culling activities. 4. Instructs the CEO to ensure that contractors provide the Shire with copies of all relevant permits, licenses and insurances prior to operations. 5. Requires the Shire to liaise with the local police and undertake community notification where practical prior to scheduled shooting. And 6. Requires post-operation records to be maintained, including numbers removed, methods used, compliance confirmations and license details. And 7. Authorises the CEO to assign operational responsibilities for the implementation of this policy to the Manager of Infrastructure and Projects. Who would like to move that one? Councillor Metcalfe, and someone to second it, Councillor Alsop. Would either of you like to comment on that motion? Thanks. No. Anyone against it? No. All those in favour by a show of hands? 7-0, carried. Right, the next one, we actually have to go behind closed doors because it's to do with the, sorry? Oh, okay. I was going to do that afterwards, but yeah. Bear with me while I try and find that. Thank you. Right, this is a late item, which was one of our CEO's KPIs, which was to come up with a revised workforce plan, which was due every 4 years. We reviewed this in the workshop prior to this meeting, and I can say it's a very comprehensive document. It's actually identified quite a few issues, particularly high staff turnover historically, our exposure to the ageing workforce, and the problems of actually recruiting people and keeping them here once we've got them. So I'd just like to comment that it was done completely in-house without the aid of external consultants, so very cost effective. And there's a plan for the next 4 years, which pretty much has our stable work, our headcount at the current value, so it'll be stable. So that's all detailed in the attachment, which is not listed there. But the resolution there, 14.1, that Council by simple majority and in accordance with Section 556 of the Local Government Act 1995 and Regulation 19C and 19DA of the Local Government Admin Regulations 1996. 1. Adopts the Shire of Dowerin Workforce Plan for the 4-year period 2025 to 2029 as a key informing strategy within the integrated planning and reporting framework to guide the workforce planning, capability development and resourcing over the next 5 years. So we would like to move that one, please. Councillor Hudson, someone to second it? Councillor Ward, would either of you like to speak to that motion?
Thanks, Mr. President.
I'd just like to thank Manisha for doing such a fantastic job. Well done, Manisha.
Thank you. Anyone speak against the motion? No. All those in favour? Show of hands, 7-0, carried. So the next item is behind closed doors. So recommendation 14.2A, that in accordance with section 5232C of the Local Government Act 1995 council go behind closed doors. Who wants to move that one? Councillor Metcalf and seconded Councillor Alsop. All those in favour? 7-0, carried. So for the record, our CEO is going to leave. So now we vote to come out from behind closed doors. Moved by Councillor Alsop, seconded by Councillor Metcalfe. All those in favour? 7-0. Thank you, carried. Right, the late item.
Read that again, Mr. President.
Yeah, yep. Have you got that motion again? Just...
Brilliant.
Right, for the benefit of the members of the public, we've just come out of closed doors, and I'll reread the concluding motion from behind closed doors. Recommendation 14.2, that by absolute majority, in accordance with sections 538 and 539 3B of the Local Government Act 1995, Regulation 18D of the Local Government Admin Regulations 1996, and Policy 1.2, CEO Performance and Salary Review, Council 1, receives the CEO's performance review report and endorses the overall performance rating 3.5 for the review period 3rd of October 2024 to the 3rd of September 2025 as detailed in confidential attachment 14.2. 2. Adopts the KPIs for the next review period as outlined in confidential attachment 14.2C. 3. Approves the CEO's total reward package in accordance with the Salaries and Allowances Tribunal determination and budget provisions. 4. Authorises the Shire President to formally notify the CEO of the outcome of the performance review, including implementation of the remuneration review. 5. Schedules the next CEO performance and remuneration review to be completed by October 2026. Right. Now we have one more late item. Thank you, Deputy. The Deputy's on the ball. Right, we've had we've had an application from a ratepayer out south, or his actual contractor, to amend a RAV rating for a series of roads out south, particularly Eaton, Sandhole Road, Irvine Road, Rifle Range Road, to allow effectively triples instead of road trains. So we've reviewed this again prior to the meeting, and the officer's recommendation basically is very similar to previous recommendations that we've done, subject, quite comprehensive. Read the motion that by a simple majority, in accordance with the Road Traffic Act 1974 and the Road Traffic Vehicle Regulations 2014, Council advises Main Roads Western Australia Heavy Vehicle Services that it, 1, supports the request to increase the RAV rating to RAV 7 on the following roads: Eaton, Sandhole Road, Irvine Road and Rifle Range Road, however subject to the following conditions. A, all operators must carry written approval from the road manager acknowledging the use of the road. B, headlights must be switched on at all times. C, no operation is permitted on unsealed road segments when visibly wet, unless prior approval is granted by the road owner. D, the road is classified as low volume with a maximum speed limit of 60. D, when operating at night, vehicles must display an amber flashing warning light on the prime mover. F, operation is not permitted whilst a school bus is operating on the road. G, operators must contact the relevant schools and obtain school bus timetables where direct contact cannot be made with the school bus driver. Operation is permitted once the driver confirms all drop-offs and pickups on the road have been completed. H, direct radio contact UHF channel 40 must be maintained with other restricted access vehicles to coordinate positions on or near the road. And 2, does not support the request to amend the accredited mass management scheme from AMMS 1 to AMMS 3 on Darren Meckering Road, Eating Road, Jones Street, Rifle Range Road, Eucardy South, on the basis that the Shire Road network is not currently constructed to a standard suitable for higher mass limits, with the exception of Rifle Range Road, which is presently classified as RAV4 AMMS 3. No other Shire roads are designated at this level, and maintaining the current position ensures consistency across the broader road network. Endorsing an increase at this time is likely to accelerate pavement deterioration and impose additional maintenance obligations that exceed the Shire's available resources. That was quite a lengthy motion. Who wants to move that one? Councillor Metcalfe. Someone to second it, please. Councillor Alsop, would either of you like to make comment on that potentially controversial one? No? Anyone like to speak against it? I'll just make a comment that it's obviously going from road train to triples, but the actual per axle loading is probably no different, especially as we're not going to the AMMS 3. So I struggle to think that it's actually going to cause more damage to the roads. It's probably going to result in actual less axle movements, but that's just my opinion. So anyway, all those in favour of that motion? 7-0, carried. Do any elected members have any motions of their own that they wish to put forth? No? Once again, I'd just like to thank the outgoing councillors for their participation across for the last 4 years. Thank you for your dedication. It's actually hard work being a councillor, keeping up with all the agenda and digesting it, and making sure you thoroughly understand it. I'm sure the community appreciate your contribution as well. Thank you for a job well done. All right, having said that, I declare the meeting closed at 4:27. Thank you all for attending.